All right, we just wrapped up week 3 of the 2024 NFL season, and boy, was it a doozy. Teams we thought were good, 0-3 now. Teams we thought were bad, 3-0. Does that mean the good teams are bad and the bad teams are good? I don't know, but this league always keeps us guessing. But I'm ranking all 32 teams, 1 through 32. I'm watching 99% of all these games, taking notes, keeping tabs, breaking things down for you. Remember, these are the power rankings, not the standings. But let's just hop into it. Let's break down our bad teams, or the teams who maybe are already looking forward to 2025, teams 32 through 23. Okay, new worst team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team is abysmal. Boy, have the mighty fallen. Doug Peterson, bad. Trevor Lawrence, bad. Everything bad about this team. Tennessee, Will Levis, the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. He can't not turn the ball over. Defense, okay, I guess. Las Vegas, what an abysmal loss to the Carolina Panthers and Andy Dalton. You beat the Ravens 1 week. You get hammered by the Panthers. We got your coach, Antonio Pierce, saying, guys are making business decisions. We're going to make business decisions now. Not great just 3 weeks into the season. Carolina, congratulations on a win. Offense looked awesome with Andy Dalton. Put up a ton of points, a ton of yards. Andy Dalton, your only 300-plus yard passer with 3 touchdowns on the season. Who would have thought? Red Rifle, welcome back. New England, just not a very talented team. The bubble kind of burst after the first 2 weeks. I expect Drake May to be making his first start after they face San Francisco this week. Cleveland, they're awful too offensively. Deshaun Watson, I mean, he's not as bad as he was week 1. He's just not good. They can't run the football. The offensive line is beat to shit. The defense is, somewhat suspect. They can't really cover people great, but they're not bad. They can get after the quarterback and force some turnovers. It's just like, man, Deshaun Watson really disrailed this team. It looked like the Browns were finally out of the slums, but welcome back, Cleveland. Miami, I don't know what to do with Miami. You have all the weapons in the world, but it looks like Mike McDaniel's offense has probably been figured out. This is before Tua went out. Skylar Thompson was awful. I don't think it could be possibly that bad. Maybe it was just 1 week. I want to see. Dolphins could easily be towards the bottom 3 now. If this is what we're going to get for the rest of the season, I think the Dolphins might quit on him. Giants, decent win. Daniel Jones hasn't looked abysmal the last 2 weeks. Maybe the Vikings defense is just that good. And how about Malik Neighbors? Oh my Lord, that man is a stud. I was a big fan of Malik Neighbors, but man, he is really lighting the scene on fire. So the Giants at least got a wide receiver again. The offensive line, a little better. Defense, okay. Giants, not completely incompetent. 24, the Chicago Bears. Bears not good offensively. They had a much better fourth quarter, third quarter. But yeah, they couldn't do anything. This game was 21-9 essentially against the Colts. Defense is how they have to win. You can't win a whole lot of games with the defense having to do everything. Now, maybe we'll get this thing figured out, but I think Eberflus is a dead man walking as a head coach, and play calling wise, just not good. Chicago can't run the ball. Figure out how to run the ball, guys. It's not that difficult. And 23, Cincinnati, man, have the mighty fallen. 0-3, a dismal loss to the Commanders at home to go 0-3 on Monday Night Football. Just, I can't get it. This defense is bad. Sweet Lou, what happened? Zach Taylor, I've been saying for years, is a trash head coach. And people tell me, oh, he's great. No, he's bad. He's got to go. Get somebody new in there, and maybe we'll bounce back. But Joe Burrow's starting to get up there in age. You got to pay everybody. Jamar Chase, could he walk possibly? T. Higgins. This team could get really bad really fast with a very expensive quarterback. But let's go into our middle tier teams now, teams 22 through 16. All right, 22, the Denver Broncos. I liked what I saw from them offensively. Finally, a little bit of college offense running the read with Bo Nix. Now, they couldn't really run the ball super effectively with the running backs, but the option stuff worked, and you got good weapons out there. You got Cortland Sutton still. Defense was much better. Stopped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run. Didn't allow them to get anything going, and Patrick Surtain, first or second best corner in the NFL, locking down top receivers. This was just a really good performance and positive for the Broncos. Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, not good, man, right now. He's under 50% completion. You can't have that in 2024. And there's guys open. Shane Steichen's doing a really good job with his play calling, but Richardson just throws abysmal interceptions. Defense was better this week, but they played a team that can't run the ball, and the Colts can't really stop the run. So have they really fixed that? I don't know. That's really tough. 20, Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Huge win on the road on Monday night. He lit it up. I mean, I was a fan of Jaden Daniels coming out. I'm just worried about his size, but he's cut down on the running. We saw the running week 1. He can't sustain that. He is going to get hurt, but he has a monster arm for a guy who looks like he weighs $150, soaking wet. Huge connections to Terry McLaurin twice tonight. You needed to see more of that. They can run the football effectively. Defense still isn't great, but it's getting better. They're not the worst defense in football, I think, anymore. But if they play like they played tonight, they're going to be frisky all season long. Atlanta at 19, just kind of whatever from the Falcons. Raheem Morris, abysmal coaching decisions left and right. This was kind of the knock on him in Tampa Bay, but they felt like he has grown past that. That was a long time ago. But man, awful decisions again. And it was a train wreck there. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a train wreck here. Kirk and Monday night, or Sunday night, primetime. And I don't think it was really his fault. Run Bijan more, please. Defense is kind of whatever. Rams, huge win by the Rams. Saved their season. Stopped from going 0-3. And Sean McVay is a wonder kid. Man, he's a genius. Just what he patched together with Stafford, that offensive line, those weapons. Kyron Williams, they finally get the running game going. Defense does just enough at the end of the game. The special teams swung this game for them. That's a huge win for the Rams. Cardinals at 17, we kind of know what the Cardinals were. I thought they played Detroit pretty well. Defense was much better than expected against a supposedly great Lions offense. Offense just couldn't get anything going, man. Couldn't run the football. Kyler was kind of, having to run around for his life. Marvin Harrison Jr. still very good at wide receiver. I think week 1 is past us now. But just kind of, we know the limit of this Cardinals team. But hey, they might be ahead of schedule. And probably the most disappointing team here at 16, the Dallas Cowboys, man. Another home blowout. That's 3 straight home blowouts. I know. The final score was 28-25. This game was 28-6 going into the fourth quarter. Cowboys weren't doing anything. Dak, the king of garbage time production, does that again, lights it up. This defense is awful under Mike Zimmer. They can't stop the run whatsoever. It's really, really bad, man. And the offense, they can't run the football. Dak had to throw the ball 50-plus times. They have no running game whatsoever. There's one formula for this Cowboy team. They have to get the lead early. They have to allow their pass rush to get after opposing teams, and then they can, do what they want on offense because it's getting bad. But let's get into it. What you came here for, our top 15 teams, starting off with maybe a surprise for some people. Okay, at 15, I got the Chargers here. I'm only going to drop them 1 spot after losing a gritty, grindy game across the country in Pittsburgh. Look, this game was 10-10 until the fourth quarter when Justin Herbert got hurt. He was playing on 1 foot, and this was a back-and-forth game, kind of punching left, punching right. But the Chargers took all the beatings, man. They lose Joe Alt. They lose Joey Bosa early in this game, and they eventually lose Justin Herbert. They couldn't get a running game going. Quentin Johnson with another touchdown reception. Who would have ever thought for them? I just think this was bad. Once Herbert went down, they really didn't have any shot for them. But I still like this Chargers team a lot. They can run the football really well against most normal defenses out there. Herbert makes plays in the passing game when he has to. We want to get him better, though. He's got that high ankle sprain. And his defense has been a lot better than most people expected coming into this season because they were awful last year. And they've been pretty good. They were really good for 3 quarters there. I just think it kind of all fell apart. They're all banged up. It is the LA Chargers here. But all in all, I'm pretty high on them. They got a big matchup against the Chiefs this week. If they can beat the Chiefs, we got something cooking in LA because it's going to be Harbaugh's first matchup against, the kings of the NFL, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So I'm very excited to see this matchup. Okay, 14. I'm going to put the Packers here at 14, up 3 spots. They survived the Jordan Love injury. They go 2-0 so far. Now, Love, is he going to play this week? Maybe, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. You survived a disastrous start after losing week 1 in Brazil to Philly. Now, the schedule was a little bit of a break. The Colts and the Titans were really, really bad, but they still got it done, and it shows you what good coaching can do for these quarterbacks. Malik Willis looked awful. Couldn't throw a football in Tennessee. Threw for 200 yards this weekend. Got 2 wins. Has been highly efficient. Hasn't done anything crazy. He's not turning the ball over. And they're doing a good job. They're running the football. They're playing defense. This is the big key here. I didn't think this Packers defense was at all good week 1. They've stepped it up the last few weeks. They live on the turnover. They're forcing turnovers left and right. Now, playing some quarterback. They play like the 3 most turnover-prone quarterbacks in the NFL, but they're taking those opportunities and they're seizing on them. I think this is a hell of a coaching job by Matt LaFleur. Let's see what this team looks like when they get Jordan Love back because it's 2 completely different offenses. And maybe, the change of the offense isn't so good for the defensive side of it because when the defense knows the offense, they can't super rely on the offense and they have to step it up. They tend to play better. Maybe, they get into track meets with other teams. It could all be effective, but I'm really interested to see that Packers definitely a live team in the NFC. Definitely stand a chance to win the division. I think they're probably going to make the playoffs, but great job all around by this coaching staff. Okay, 13, I got the New York Football Jets. This This is the Jets team we wanted to see on Thursday night. I know it's the Patriots, but it you got to do it, man. They hadn't beaten the Patriots. They're like 1-15 their last 16 meetings against the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers looked awesome. You know, the passing game was there. Alan Lazard gets in the end zone. Garrett Wilson finally gets in the end zone. We have two backs now. Brees Hall doing what he does. And how about Braylon Allen, the youngster out of Wisconsin, the youngest player in the NFL? He was lighting it up as that number two back, and the defense really, really needed a get right game, and they got right, man. They took away the Patriots running game. Patriots weren't able to run the football like they had been the first 2 weeks. Obviously, the pass defense was there. They were able to get after Brissett. They made his life a living hell. This is the Jets team we all expected we would see. Didn't get it the first week. Didn't really get it the second week. We got it this week. Have another kind of interesting schedule coming up. I think they're playing, I don't even think they're playing they're playing the Broncos this week in New York. So a little bit of a revenge game against Sean Payton and another rookie quarterback. And then they head across the pond to play the steaming hot Vikings. So interesting couple games coming up, but this schedule is not really that tough for the Jets. If we can get more performances like we saw on Thursday from this Jets team, they're going to be a double-digit win team. I like them a lot to make the playoffs. Now, the division is a lot harder than we thought it was going to be, thanks to a certain team a little higher on this list. But all around, I really like what I saw from the Jets. Okay, number 12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, sometimes it's a burn the tape game, and they had a burn the tape game on Sunday. I mean, Denver just jumped out on them early. Their defense couldn't stop the run, which is crazy. They were the best run defense in football last year, and they couldn't stop the pass. Now they're doing, now they can't stop the run, and they can kind of stop the pass. They've kind of flipped on themselves, but the offense could never get the game going. Baker was under duress most of this game. They couldn't establish the run. They couldn't get the pass going. It was just tough. Baker threw an interception. It was just bad all around, and sometimes you have those games, but there are some other concerning things here with this Buccaneers. Really inefficient running the football. Rachaad White is pretty much just, he doesn't get it done. Looks like Bucky Irving is going to be the guy. If they can't find Mike Evans, like what's happening there, Mike Evans isn't doing anything. You still got Chris Godwin, though. That's awesome. But maybe it was a fluky win more in Detroit than we thought because, not great. I mean, Commanders week 1, bad defense. We'll see. We'll see. Tampa Bay's kind of up in the air. They're all over the place, but the division is wide open. I don't trust the Falcons. I do not trust the Saints. Maybe Andy Dalton's going to come for him, but right now, Buccaneers at 12. I'm kind of concerned from some of the things I saw, but I don't want to drop them too far just yet. Okay, 11, the San Francisco 49ers down 7 spots. And man, what a disastrous loss. And it's crazy because it was looking like a good win. We know the Rams are banged up and undermanned, but so are the 49ers. Year from hell almost for the Niners. Christian McCaffrey's flying to Germany to check out his Achilles. George Kittle's out. Debo's out. But hey, man, Jawan Jennings, a huge day, gets himself a hat trick. And I've been saying it, man. I've really liked what I saw from Purdy the first 2 weeks, and he was excellent on Sunday. I thought he was great, threw the ball really well, made more plays with his legs like he said he needed to, and there were some really devastating runs to that Rams defense. They weren't able to run the ball as effectively as I would have liked. Mason had an okay day for them, but really this was on the special teams. Defense was did a decent job, but I don't think this defense as it's good as it has been in years past. But the special teams shit the bed, man. You're missing kicks, you're giving up punt returns, giving up fakes. It's just like it's all over the place on the special teams. But I am concerned that the injuries are piling up, and I don't think Kyle Shanahan called his best game the last 2 weeks. Maybe Kyle Shanahan's starting to get worn out. He's been doing this for a long time at an elite level, and sometimes the mind fatigue just gets to you. The grind is a lot to deal with. So I'm very, very concerned about the 49ers. I have too much respect for them to drop them really, further than this. But man, another bad loss. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Okay, number 10 into my top 10, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, this is probably the best defense in football. Every number, every metric is just stupid when you look at Pittsburgh, man. They get after the quarterback. They stop the run. They can cover people. It's really impressive. And I said this might be the best defense coming into the year, and boy, have they delivered. And the offense was much, much better this week against the Chargers. Justin Fields is starting to get into the flow of things, actually threw the football a little bit. Calvin Austin, hello. Welcome. Pat Fryermuth. We know about him. George Pickens is doing George Pickens things. And they ran the ball okay. I mean, they ran the ball well. It wasn't great, but it was good enough, man. I'm starting to like this Pittsburgh team. If they can play every football game like this, where Justin Fields doesn't get too aggressive, he did have an interception, if he doesn't turn the ball over, and they can run the football and let the defense cook, get a couple of touchdowns, 20 points. If Pittsburgh can stop playing 13-10 games and start playing 20-17 games, they're going to win a lot of football games because it's not going to be 20-17. It's going to be 20-13. It's going to be 20-10. This defense is that good. And so if you can get 20 points you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you may never lose a football game with how good this defense is. So hopefully they stay healthy, but I'm really starting to warm to this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Okay, number 9, I got the Saints down 2 spots. I mean, I kind of had my hand tied behind my back, pushing them as high as I did last week. The 40 points, the back-to-backs. This is the Saints offense we know and love. Absolutely stymied against an Eagles defense who's been a sieve out there. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the football. Derek Carr couldn't pass. It's the Derek Carr we expected to see all season. But maybe the Eagles were playing with a lot of motivation, a lot of extra oomph after that Monday night loss. But I'm concerned about the offense. You know, they got stuff on film. Teams know what they want to do. Carr wasn't great. Missed Shaheed wide open for a touchdown there. Now, the defense we knew is excellent in New Orleans. It's been very good so far this season, and they were very good again. They were, forcing the issue with Jalen Hurts. He keeps they forced a couple of turnovers. They made them get a lot of big 4th down stops in field goal range. We'll talk about that later with Philly. But yeah, this defensive unit is the lead of this team. I don't know what to do with the Saints. They could have been 2-week frauds. I don't know. It's just hard to see. But again, this division isn't very good. I think 9 wins could easily win this division. And they already got 2 under the belt. And I think the defense is good enough. Offense isn't going to be as bad as we saw this week. So I'm interested to see where the Saints do moving forward. Okay, number 8, I got the Seahawks up 5 spots at 8, 3-0. Really good start to the season if you're a Seahawks fan. I like the Seahawks. I took them to make the playoffs. This defense is much, much improved under Mike McDonald. It's been really, really refreshing to see. I know the Dolphins, but they stopped the run. The Dolphins still have a running game. They still have a very good running back. They still have a good run blocking O-line. Maybe it helps when you know the team can't throw the ball that you can stop it, but all around, really nice stuff. And the Seahawks offense kept humming along, man. No Kenneth Walker, no problem. Zach Charbonnet, another efficient day. Geno wasn't as good as he was 2 weeks ago. He was okay, had a couple of nice connections to DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba doing a nice job. Noah Fant, actually, a very big day for them. Finally, Geno did turn the ball over. We got to work on some of those stuff. But other than that, I've been very happy with what I've seen out of Seattle. They feel like a good team. They feel like a young team. Now we're going to have some bumps and kinks along the way. Yeah, young rookie head coach, going to make some mistakes there. I think that's going to ultimately be the limiting factor for the Seahawks team, but I definitely think they're a playoff team, man. I think they're a tough out week in and week out. Anybody that can run the football, stop the run, play good defense, stuff like that travels. Geno is going to try and be efficient. He's usually pretty efficient. And they have weapons. They have dudes at wide receiver. You can throw the ball, and sometimes those dudes just make plays on you, which will really hurt teams. And once they get a nice lead, let that defense tee off. So Seattle here at 8, but they got a lot of potential, I think. Okay, it's 7. I got the Ravens up 3 spots. This is the Ravens team we've all been looking for. But again, Baltimore, please. Why are they so bad? Why can't they protect leads? They were almost about to blow another 10-point lead. It's just so infuriating to me that they do this. I don't understand it. What's going on, Harbaugh? You're supposed to be a great head coach. But they just ran the ball down Dallas's throats, and that's what you need to do. Give Derrick Henry the ball. Let Lamar move around. Lamar didn't throw, I think he was 12 of 15, Lamar. Super efficient. Get the ball to your playmakers. Get it to Zay Flowers. Had a touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman. The tight end situation, I don't know what's going on with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. I don't know what's happening there. We got to get that figured out. Defense. Good defense when they have to. They can get after the quarterback. They can stop the non-existent run game of the Dallas Cowboys. But the secondary is an issue, man. They have been getting gashed the last 2 weeks, or torched, I should say, the last 2 weeks when teams have been back up against it. They get early leads, and their secondary is so bad. Offense takes their foot off the gas, maybe, and they just get torched, and they give up all these points, all these yards. Justin Tucker is definitely washed as a kicker. His time has passed. He can't kick big kicks anymore. That's tough to see, but it happens to all the greats. We saw it happen to Adam Vinatieri, but much better from what I saw from Baltimore. But the real test is this week. They got Buffalo at home on Sunday night. Gotta win that game. Gotta win that game, or at least really, really play an excellent football game for me to not have more questions or concerns, because 1-3 ain't good, especially if the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-0. You're chasing now, and you don't want to be doing that. Okay, number 6, I got the Philadelphia Eagles back up 3 spots at 6. Love what I saw from the defense, man. Suffocating stuff. Jalen Carter was a madman. There is way too much talent on this defensive front to not be shutting down every team's run game and not being able to get after the quarterback. You got to be able to do it, and they did that on Sunday. Now, Jalen Hurts is turning the ball over way too much. 26 turnovers over the last 2 seasons. That's the most in the NFL. He's just reckless with the football, man, and it's not okay. And Nick Sirianni, you better start learning chicken parm, bud, because he's got no idea what he's doing out there. His coaching decisions are abysmal. Talked about Raheem Morris earlier. Nick Sirianni, the worst. Like, oh my God, it's so bad. All of a fourth down, like they're in like a 3-0 game over here, and he's going for it before that at the end of the half on fourth down in field goal range. Just kick the field goal, man. Then he's trying to kick like 60-yard field goals to give the Saints momentum. It's just like so infuriating. Some people are saying it's coming from the nerds up top. I don't know what's happening, but when you're like the offensive guy or the analytics or the rah-rah guy, you got to get this shit figured out. This team has been so bad since Shane Steichen left 2 years ago to go to Indianapolis. I don't know what's happening here, but they still won. They're still 2-1. There's still so much talent and potential on this team. AJ Brown's coming back. That's going to help. But Devontae Smith out. Saquon Barkley, I didn't talk enough about him. He's unbelievable. He's great. He single-handedly won this game for them on the offensive side of the ball. Defense did their job too. But yeah, Philly always going to frustrate me, I think, every single week. Okay, number 5, I got the Texans at 5. Look, I'm not going to overreact. Texans got waxed, man. It happens sometimes on the road at a conference. That's a game you can lose. You can lose on the road at a conference. It doesn't hurt you in the tiebreakers down the stretch. And you know what? CJ Stroud's still a young quarterback, only second year in the league. And guess what? Guess what? He faced a juggernaut on defense. This is confusing even the best of them. Young quarterbacks are struggling, especially with this Shanahan system. Minnesota's defense is built to stop the Shanahan offense, and it's done a great job. So I'm not going to overreact with him. He's still got all the talent in the world. He's missing both of his running backs. Cam Akers did an okay job filling in, but it really felt it. The more concerns I have is the offensive line. The offensive line is getting worked. They had 5 penalties. Laramie Tunsil did. It's a sieve back there. CJ's kind of run around a lot the last 2 weeks against good pass rushes there. You can't have that. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hurt, and it's not going to be okay. Defensively, they're okay. They still struggle on the back end. Derek Stingley, who is their best corner, got burned a couple of times. Didn't do a great job getting after Darnold enough. They've kind of been living on the pass rush, but they did a good enough job, over 100 on the ground. It was just kind of a bad day for the Saints. I talked about the Buccaneers burn the tape game. I should say bad day for the Saints, bad day for the Texans. I talked about the Buccaneers burn the tape game. Just burn this tape, Houston. It happens to every good team, but we want to make sure we limit that and doesn't happen again. Okay, number 4, I got the Detroit Lions at 4. Look, another nice win for the Lions, and I think this defense is significantly, and I mean significantly better than we thought it was going to be. Able to get after the quarterback. They're rushing the passer at an excellent rate, causing havoc back there. They can stop the run, and they're covering people. This was a problem with them. They weren't able to get after the quarterback, and they weren't able to cover anybody. They're doing both of those things in tandem, and it's helping out a lot. Now, the biggest concern is the offense. The offense is in all sorts of out of whack. They're picking up a ton of yards all over the place, but they can't put up points like last year. Only 20 points, under 20 points in every single, 20 points or less in every single regulation so far this season. So they're not putting up points like they did last year. Now, that could be teams are focused on the Lions. I want to see how the Lions do with a target on their back. And they're passing the test so far, but it just feels a little uneasy. Now, I do trust that they're going to get this offensive issues figured out. I expect they're going to be able to pick up all these yards and put 7s on the board. Amon-Ra St. Brown still awesome. Sam Laporta hasn't done anything this year. He's a little banged up. He's considered day to day. The running game with Montgomery and Gibbs, really, really nice, really, really strong. I like the rotation there. And Monty looks like the better of the 2 running backs, but we saw Gibbs start slow last year. He'll hop right back into it, I'm sure. I trust the Lions. I guess maybe too much. I don't know, enough, but 2-1 is still good for where they need to be. This division is tough though, man. Packers and Vikings, 2 tough teams. Once the Lions start scoring more touchdowns, I'm really going to think they're an elite Super Bowl contender. Okay, I really don't like doing this. It makes me feel gross. It makes me feel disgusted. I'm going to put my Vikings here at number 3. I mean, what can you say? They've passed every test so far this year. Good road win, week 1 maybe, but you take care of the Niners and Texans back to back. This team has only thrown 2 passes. Sam Darnold has thrown 2 passes while trailing this season. They've been wire to wire. This defense is a problem. Brian Flores has created a monster in Minnesota. He's been there 2 years now. He's got the personnel he's needed. They're leading the league in sacks. They get after the quarterback. I mean, if you look at CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy after the game, they're like, we don't know what we're seeing out here during this game. These looks we're getting are ridiculous, and they're doing it without blitzing. Minnesota was towards the bottom in 4-man pass rushes, or towards the bottom in 4-man rushes last year. They're now towards the top this year. So they're doing it, able to get pressure at the quarterback with only 4, drop into coverage. The passing defense is a little bit of concern. They're giving up 27. They're 27th in yards given up in the passing, but they're great on third down. Teams are like 20-something% conversions on third down. That's, I mean, the best. Like, they are shutting teams down. Teams aren't scoring points. They're keeping teams out of the end zone, off of the field goals, and they're turning people over. That's the big story. And the offense is hyper efficient. Talk about the turnaround great coaching does for a quarterback. I talked about Matt LaFleur. Give KOC his flowers, man. Sam Darnold, the revolution is here. 4 passing touchdowns, a career high. No interceptions this week. And he's making big-time throws. Leads the NFL in 15-plus yard completion. So he's throwing the ball downfield. That's what, it's not just this dink and dunk, low, short stuff and letting guys work. He's pushing the ball down the field to his playmakers, still missing TJ Hawkinson, still missing Jordan Addison. The offensive line has been excellent. They were the real question mark. We have elite tackles. The guard interior play has been better than it's been in years past. And the running game's been really good with Aaron Jones. I'm cautiously optimistic, but man, the Vikings look awesome through the first 3 weeks of the season. Okay, number 2, I got the Buffalo Bills, man. I thought this was going to be a down year for the Bills, but they just trounced the Jaguars at home. And what can you say, man? This defense is so much better than we thought it was going to be. They've been able to get after teams. The pass rush is really affecting them. Von Miller, man, welcome back. You love to see it. The defense, the secondary, they lose a lot of guys back there. They're covering people. They lose their leader, Matt Milano. No problem. We'll figure it out. Sean McDermott is doing a hell of a job with this defensive unit. And maybe he knew his job was on the line, like they had to get it done this year, and he's breaking out all the stops. Now, have they played the craziest competition so far to start this season? No, but they've winning in very impressive fashion, in my opinion. And offensively, Josh Allen is playing out of his mind right now. They're running the ball really well with James Cook. They're getting the ball to all their different kind of guys. They got tight end. They got young receivers. They got guys you don't even know or hear of, and he's still getting the ball, making plays to them. But as long as they can keep Josh Allen upright, he doesn't turn the ball over like he has in the past. This is a scary and dangerous team. The problem is there's one team out there that seems to always have their number. Obviously, our number 1 team. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs, another win. It's gritty, it's ugly. Now, they did lose Isaiah Pacheco for a good chunk of time, it sounds like, potentially the regular season. I don't know, man. The Chiefs just do some, goofy shit. They let teams hang around. They don't bury teams, but they always find a way to win. Now, you can talk about the refs. You can talk about this. You can talk about that. I trust more than anything anywhere that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to find a way to win football games. That's what they do. Now, there are question marks out there, obviously. Rashee Rice is their only real guy on offense right now, and he plays wide receiver. They've got him in at running back. There wasn't much in the running game. Carson Steele just kind of battering ram style. Samaje Perine getting more in there. Maybe he'll see more carries as we get further along. But Travis Kelce, man, nobody's saying it. Say it. He's fat. He's out of shape. He's got the girlfriend bod. I don't know what. Spent all offseason globetrotting and eating and drinking and having fun, filming commercials, doing this and that. He is so out of shape. It's crazy. He's not in shape whatsoever. But he's trying, man. He's going to play himself into shape, probably. But he is getting up there in age, man. He's 35 years old, I think. Maybe he's turning 36. He's getting up there, and your body just doesn't recover, and he's not the athlete like he's used to, and he's still getting the defensive respect, though. Maybe we'll see it soften up. He's still drawing the double teams and getting double covered there. The defense is going to have to carry a lot of the load, I think, as we try and get this offense figured out over the next few weeks, but the defense is awesome. We like the defense. The defense is good. Chris Jones, best defensive guy in the league? Probably. He's a monster back there. They got great secondary, it feels like. This is a really good defensive unit. They just got dudes over there that make plays. Spags calls a great game. The Chiefs are going to stay number 1 as long as they keep winning football games. I just have too much respect for them to not put them number 1. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who am I too high on? Who am I too low on? disagree with me, let me have it in the comments. I love going back and forth with you guys. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. Helps support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. If you want to check out one of your favorite teams in person, head on over to SeatGeek. Use code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com, code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. Check out one of these teams live. Let me know. Give me a scouting report. I'll put it in the video. If you actually do that, leave a comment. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.